Welcome to our very first episode of
If you want me to be honest,
where the filter is off, the honesty is high, and the regrets, well, they come later.
I'm April, and this is Cindy.
This is our very first episode of Who Gave Us the Mic? What idiot gave us?
How did this start is the question. And I'll tell you that this began because...
Wasn't my idea.
Well, it's actually because you used to ask me my opinion of things going on and whether you should be honest or truthful with how you feel about situations.
Mm.
And so I always said, well, if you want me to be honest,
And then she would
give you
rip
my
me a new
honest
one.
truth. Well, that's just because it was the opposite of what you wanted.
Yeah, true.
To hear.
True. Yeah, it
A
was
little
rude.
bit. It was.
But we also think we are funny as shit. Okay, let's be honest. We are
Well,
funny.
We are to us.
We think we're
Well,
funny.
Well, what did your husband think of it?
Of what?
Making this podcast.
He never said a word.
Right?
My kids begged me not to.
My kids, in the beginning, they were a little off, actually.
Yeah.
They weren't too sure about us doing this, but then they were like, you two are funny. I think you can do it.
I think we're funny, and that's all that matters.
I think we're hilarious.
Scott thinks we're funny. Mark?
Not so much.
Yeah. I think we're funny.
I don't know.
It's just for fun. We don't care. We're having fun. You like it. You like it. You love it. You love it. You don't. Bye. Yeah.
That's her honest opinion, sadly. Is
Well, I mean, you ain't gotta be rude. Just laugh or don't laugh. That's what I do.
like or don't
Keep
like,
scrolling.
share or don't share.
Follow or don't follow. But follow.
We prefer you to follow, actually. We're hoping that it takes off.
Yeah.
So what else? What happened today in our office trying
Well-
to figure out how we're going to set this up?
Yeah. We're still trying to figure out that and where we're going to do it and how we're
And
going to do
how.
it. We've been friends a long, long time.
It's been 33 years. Right?
Yeah. That's why I got most of my grace.
So let's talk about that. I did want
Okay.
to talk.
Okay.
This is one thing I think people should know about you and me.
Okay.
Buddy. Do you remember when we met the very first time?
Oh, God. That's even harder on that.
I do.
I remember before I met you when you spilt shit all over my.
That was not before. That's the day I met Joanne.
Well, I thought they told me, and I was like, "Who is this bitch?"
They came out and said, "Somebody spilled."
I bought a tablecloth for one of our friends, a
Right.
nice white one,
Whatever.
and it
Trailer
looked so
park.
pretty. And it looked so pretty, and then somebody spilled soda all
I
over
did.
it.
I did. I felt so bad. But what was your honest opinion of me at that time?
Well, at first I was like, "Who's this bitch?"
Right.
Spilling shit all over the place, and then you and Scott had a party, and I didn't know you, but I knew Scott. But I lived in Daytona at the time.
Yeah.
And people were at the party, and I was at the person's house you spilt the tablecloth on, waiting
Mhm.
for him to hang out with me and our friends. And they were all at your party. So I sat there. You might not have known that. I sat there, which you didn't know me at the time, so that's why I wasn't invited. But it's not a big deal. It was like, yo,
I thought that
Party.
you were there when I spilled the drink.
no, I wasn't. They told me who spilled it, and I was like, who is this?
Oh, so
bitch?
when I actually saw you is when you confronted me and said, "So you're the bitch that spilled the soda."
Oh, I said that.
Yeah.
Really?
And I thought, thank you. The first thought of me was,
She's a bitch. too.
wow, dude.
So I said,
she's-
so you're the one that spilled the soda.
yeah. And I said, well, I cleaned it up. I felt so bad, too.
It was stained.
Okay, well, who buys fucking white?
Okay, I was trying to be
For
cute.
someone that has parties.
Yeah,
Cleaned up
so
on her.
that's how we met. But I don't remember not liking you. I just remember like this bitch. That's all I'm saying.
No, I didn't not like you. I did think I would tell you this is what I like. The first time I met you, that situation, you confronted me there at that
Okay.
house, right?
Yeah.
The funniest part is before Scott said to me, All right, so you're going to meet this person, this person, this person, this
Oh,
person.
Scott ran his mouth about me.
He did. He said. Now, Cindy, on the other hand, she has a big mouth. So you might get along with her.
Because you got a big mouth, too.
Right. You remember them calling us big mouth bass?
Yes.
Motherfucker.
Mark used to say that so
Right.
much to me. Big mouth bass, big mouth bass. He's
I wasn't a
like,
fan of Mark's when I first met him.
I ain't a fan of him now.
I'll be honest with you.
That's because of the,
Well,
he was a player.
dirty bird.
Yep.
You know, I
Dirty
don't like
bird
dirty
get the
birds.
But remember when, was it Mark that said to Scott, your girlfriend
Yeah.
has the biggest
Mouth. Ever.
girl that I've
Yeah.
ever met.
He said I would never,
Yes, that's what he said.
ever date a girl with as big of a mouth
Well,
as
guess
you.
what? God punished
God,
him.
I forewarned him. I remember, you know what I said to him?
Oh,
If you want me to be honest, I said to him that night that he said it to me, I can remember we were sitting in Scott's apartment at the beach, the beachside at that apartment at the table. And I said, you got the biggest mouth one there is, buddy. And he said, no, that
I
ain't.
tricked him then. That's why.
I thought I tricked everybody too.
Yeah, no, I tricked him. I even cooked him lunches and stuff. Yeah,
Then
that was a big trick.
asked me for a lunch today, bitch.
I'll go through the drive and get you
Yeah.
lunch.
I ain't making that shit
So
no more.
that's when we first met, and then you knew Mark and Scott. I knew Scott since I was in middle school. Scott
Yeah.
was in high school.
I know.
And when I first saw him,
I'm fine.
he wanted
We're
to
going
be
to-
honest.
We're gonna get stuck on this one again. Well, he ain't no prize now, so go ahead and speak it. Speak your truth.
Well, I was on my school bus
Mm,
with some friends.
let me go ahead and take a sip.
Is that alcohol?
Mm.
So we pulled up at the high school to pick up the high school kids. And here comes a couple of my friends walking out of the school with Scott. And I was like,
What's the shot?
I was like,
man, EQ.
and it was back in the day when all the guys had long hair, Guns N'
Dude,
Roses, Metallica
yeah.
thing. And I was like, who's that? I think I asked his sister.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, that's my brother. I'm like, oh, And then a couple days later, I seen him with some hoe.
Wasn't me. I was a cop, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I wasn't that cop.
So that was into that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so that's when I first saw Scott. And
Yeah, but then
I
you
met-
ended up hanging out with him and partying.
Yeah. Then we all hung out and partied and, did what we did.
Beach fleas.
Pretty much. Hung out at beachside,
Mhm.
drinking,
Drinking, partying.
partying, having fun.
Not me. I was sweet and innocent
Are you
in
being
Maryland.
honest right now?
Not really. I mean,
And then you moved here.
ruined everything.
No, you didn't ruin nothing.
I know, because you found your soulmate, bitch.
You're right. You're right.
And so did Mark and Scott.
yeah, they're lucky.
I mean,
That's
thank
how I
you.
see it.
I don't know how they ever lived without us.
Exactly.
If you want me to be honest, that's
Mm-hmm.
the truth.
So they were pretty wild, Scott and Mark.
Ugh.
So that went on. Anyway, so then we get married. She got married the day after I got married.
Mm-hmm.
Scott was in my wedding. He
Was
walked.
it?
Yes, he walked my mom down the aisle with a different. Wasn't they called buns?
Yeah.
The Cumberland buns or something like that. Wasn't it called
Say it again.
buns? Cumberland buns.
Boom.
The bun things that go underneath the jacket. The,
The-
colored
the-
ones.
the Cumberland. But
No, it's the vest part.
right. The vest.
Okay,
The different
so
colored vest.
He wore the vest to match my wedding, and then
Right.
for his wedding, he used the same, and he just changed.
That would
the,
be my wedding.
yeah, your wedding. He just changed the vest,
Correct.
and the reason why we weren't in each
That's
other's
right, that's
weddings
right,
is
that's
because
right.
we were planning. It was just too much for us
Well,
to
of
do
course.
that.
Yeah.
So then
Was
we
a
got
different
married, and
situation.
now it's almost 31 years later. We have some regret.
That's for another episode.
Yeah, it's
That'll probably be
oh, it's
titled,
coming.
Oh, the regrets we have.
Now we're happily married.
Hmm.
She's got 55 kids. I have
And a grandbaby.
2. And a grandbaby, and I do have a grandbaby.
So, all right. So we're talking about when we first met, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when we first started hanging out,
Okay.
we moved to Holly Hill. I was living in Holly Hill at that time, right? And then you and Mark were where in
Yeah.
Daytona?
Apartments
Okay.
and off of Ridgewood
Yeah. Okay. So
behind Dunkin' Donuts.
yes. Remember when we watched Scott was into NASCAR back then?
Oh, here we go. I know what you're going to say. How do
Okay.
you remember this stuff?
Okay. Because this is the kind of stuff that, like, if you want me to be honest, makes me giggle so hard that I need people to understand, really, like,
That I'm an idiot.
yeah, no, you're not an idiot, but you're funny as shit, okay, when it comes to certain things. So, Scott decided to tell you, trick you
He did trick me.
on a 24-hour race. I think it was the Rolex 24.
It was something. It was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
long
yeah.
time.
Well, I mean, you should have known something was up when we're spending the night at the
I
Hangman.
thought y'all was staying on because we were friends. We weren't
Well,
friends.
no, it wasn't about friendship. And Scott was trying to figure out what.
Why didn't you watch it on your own damn TVs?
Because Mark wouldn't shut up about us coming over to play cards that night.
Oh,
Remember?
Oh.
That's when we used to play cards all the time.
okay.
So anyway, Scott said, you said, all right, buddy, let's watch the race together. Who
And
am I
that was
rooting
just a
for?
joke.
No, I
I
know.
didn't really want to watch it.
Well,
But it go.
it made him feel good. And so he said, all right, who's your driver? And what did you say? You were rooting. You don't want to tell. All of a sudden,
Tom Petty. That's who I knew. I thought I knew it.
oh, you knew his ass. He just wasn't driving.
Scott
in
said,
that. Richard Petty is who you meant.
Same thing.
Okay, so those were good times.
That was the
Those were good times.
first trick of the day. And then
Yeah.
he said, it's almost over. It's almost over.
Yeah.
Every hour, I'm like, when is this race
I know.
over? It's almost over. It was a lie. It was 24 hours.
Yeah, it was. It was the Rolex 24.
Yeah, that never happened again.
Remember when I had to tell you that he's lying to you?
Yes, finally, someone tells me.
Yeah, those were good times.
Yeah, I went to bed.
Yeah, I don't remember what I did. I think I got forced to stay up and watch that stupid shit with him.
Sorry, it's your man, not lying.
Dude.
I wasn't staying up. It was around and around. Tom Petty just going.
Tom Petty. I don't even think Richard Petty was racing back then.
He was.
I think he was retired, dude.
No.
No.
No,
I'm going to check it.
I don't know no race.
Well, how long ago was that?
30.
I mean, Nathan had to been how long? How old? 4? 3? Right?
Yeah,
3 or 4?
in that area.
Okay, so it had to have been 95. 1995, 96. I hadn't had Brandon yet or
No,
pregnant with
you
him.
didn't have.
That was 97.
Nope. No.
So, wow, it was early. God damn, we're old. Okay.
But we are all dear.
Dude.
Anyway, forget
Anyway.
about that. We're not that.
All right.
old.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that, where you were working back then, though.
Cleaning hotel rooms.
Yes.
I did that.
I did that as a
since
summer
I was
job.
13, though.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was my real life job for years.
Okay, well, I did it as a summer job.
Yeah. Well, bougie.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I worked hotels until we became friends, and then you
Right.
got me every job to now.
Not very pretty much.
Yes. Doctor's
Pretty much.
office.
Yeah. The first doctor's office was the funniest.
Yes, it was.
That was
fun.
probably the
It was
best.
fun.
That was the best. One of the
Yes.
best.
It was a good. It
It
was
was-
for me to learn
Yeah.
from hotels to
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
doctor's office.
That was a-
I
That was a hard learning lesson. And
remember
I'm
when
sure
I took that
he knows who
Texaco
he is.
card. The
Dude.
page just said, "Do you take Texaco cards?" I'm like, "Yeah." I never
A gas
forgotten
card.
about- But remember, people, this was when credit cards were first coming out, so don't act like I'm not crazy.
You know, they probably have.
But he
but
still
not
brings that up. That doctor still brings that up to
Mhm.
me a lot.
all the time.
So then we worked there for a few years, and then went to a billing.
Billing company.
I love that
Medical
job.
billing
It was
company.
my favorite
I
job
know.
ever. So went there, and then you left me there, and then
Well, I had 15 kids.
Yes, she had
I
15
mean,
kids, so
holy
she
shit.
left me there, which is fine. Remember when you
Go ahead, say it. What now? Why is it always so fucking funny to you?
I think it's funny.
This better be good.
Remember, no, remember when you had to help me at the job
Oh,
in the
because you clogged
bathroom?
the toilets.
I
Now,
was called.
oh,
And I come got to and was
I
like,
remember. I remember. That's how
So-
you know you got. Listen,
because I left.
not only
doing
will they smell your ass, they will plunge your shit
Yeah,
and not tell nobody. It looked like I was the one who
I left you doing it.
Bro. By the way, everybody that used to work there, it wasn't.
Wow,
Mm.
could have been.
Mm.
And then
That's when you were on that sub diet.
subtitle. We
Yeah,
just went to
remember?
Publix so much.
Every day,
And
man.
Chick-fil-A too, though. Chick-fil-A.
No, you did that after I was there.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, after I left.
Because
It was
me
it
and you
was full
split a
of
sub
subs
every day.
Every day.
You're welcome.
I know. I need to do that now and lose more weight.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the job. I found out I had endometriosis.
Mm-hmm.
That was, well, they told me that I wouldn't be able to have a kid.
Right.
That was devastating, even though I didn't want more kids. I didn't
And then
think
you
I
got
wanted.
the angel sent from heaven.
I didn't think I wanted more kids, but so it was.
Well, because you're
devastating.
being told that you once
Yeah.
you're told that you can't.
Yeah, because
That's
me
a
and
whole
Mark had
different-
been married like 10
Right.
years by then. And more
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
or any more kids. We had my son.
It's a whole different ballgame when somebody tells you you can't have it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're not going to
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
me.
That was devastating.
Yeah.
But that was at that job. So then you got me another job. Was that's
No, we went back.
what bad?
We went back to this
Oh
same
yeah, the first doctor. Yes, we went.
I
back
was
to
like
that doctor. I was pregnant.
Dude.
I got pregnant with.
I think I went off and on work for that doctor probably 4 times total.
You never learned your lesson.
It was like, you know how when like
Y'all were like an
when
old
you're
married
young,
couple.
yeah. Well, when you're young and
Even
you're
though you're
dating,
married.
no, but you're dating a guy, and he cheats on you and breaks your heart,
Mhm.
and you're like, but no, it really was a good time,
And then you went.
and then you go back,
Yeah.
and he cheats on you again, and you're like, no, but really, I'm that good girl, please.
I love you.
Yeah, I was always like that with loser boyfriends too in the past. Again, they know who they are.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went back there
Back
when
there.
I was pregnant because
But you went,
I wasn't going to.
I hadn't come back yet.
No,
They
yeah.
brought me back for that.
Yeah.
That was when the 2 doctors were working together there.
Remember, I drove with you to Jacksonville to help do a job there for that one doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Only
Yeah,
once
yeah.
or twice
That was,
I went.
yeah, that was a collection account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got me another doctor job, and then another doctor job
I did.
because that doctor closed down and moved to somewhere.
Because the angel was sent from
Yeah, yeah.
That seems to be a theme in this this little party.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, it's not good. If you want me to be honest.
And now I work with your billing company.
Mm.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's fun.
And then,
But you also work in the doctor's office.
yes,
right?
part-time and part-time. Part-time and part-time. And here we are.
Because it makes you happy.
Yes.
The people there.
Yeah,
Always
of
make
course,
you
of course,
so
of course. Yes,
That's why you stay.
you're right.
It is. It's partly, I think, a lot of the jobs that I think we've taken on, a lot of the times it comes down to the relationships you have with each individual
yeah.
and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a lot harder to, deal with people that slack
Uh,
or have issues. But you still have some kind of bond,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's the
No, for
main
sure.
thing
For sure.
is that
Yes.
you're bonded to them for,
Yeah,
especially how long you work with them.
that's
Yeah.
true.
And if you want me to be honest, there's a lot of people there that got some work ethic issues. That's for
That's
another.
another. Yeah.
That's for another day.
That's for another day. But yeah, so she's got me every job since I was an adult.
Yeah.
She talked me into doing this.
You're welcome.
They're like, damn.
It's only gonna get better. It can only get better,
That's
right?
right.
Like this
Yeah.
has got to be the lowest that we're gonna be.
The lowest.
Well, I mean, it's nerve wracking starting up.
Oh,
It's,
yeah,
you
yeah. And
know,
all the new stuff.
a lot of new,
all the
not
fancy
ghetto
stuff.
type of setup.
All our
Like,
fancy stuff just for
I
fun.
mean, if we get worse decor than this, we're going downhill, girl. I mean,
Yeah.
the budget isn't that friendly.
Well, and not only that, it's just for fun.
I mean, for you, I'm trying to retire on this shit, girl.
Oh,
One
boy.
day.
Oh,
One
hey,
day.
by the way, I bought a
Certainly
scratch
can't have a
off.
singing career.
Heck, I can.
Oh, shit. Do it. Go ahead. Bust it out. Let us
Um,
hear it.
I went to the store the other day, and you know
Mhm.
how I never buy scratch offs or something.
Yeah.
So I bought a scratch off, a $4 one at a grocery store, and it's still sitting on my counter. I haven't scratched it off because I'm
Dude.
trying to please, Lord.
Oh, you're trying to prey on it.
I need about 500,000.
So I'm going to give you a little Bible lesson real quick. There was one time Jesus went into the church.
I know.
So he don't like gambling. Don't pray for
I
it.
know. It's just a scratch off.
If it's
though.
meant to be, it's meant to be.
You're right.
It's not going to change it. I'm just.
Well, I'm
Come.
just gonna be pissed. I lost my $4. That's why I don't buy
Wait,
scratch
hold
off.
on. We're doing all this praying over a $4 scratch off?
Yeah,
Which
I
I
was in that thing.
not on the $4.
Why?
It's a lie.
No,
It's a
No.
lie.
my son.
Show me the winner.
My son got a $50
Off of
one.
four.
I ain't spending $50.
That's
At least
the
$50. I'll be.
difference. Could you imagine?
I can't.
Mar-
$4. There was a $4 one and a $10 one. I didn't
Yeah.
spend the $10.
You should have. That's
No,
the.
dude, I can't waste my money like that. Shit, I can go to lunch for that. You know, food's important.
No, that's another discussion. I mean, obviously, food's important to me too.
And here we are. So then we decided to do this to have fun with it because we
It's-
work together and we laugh all day long. So we're like, this has got to be out there. This shit's funny. So that's it. And here we are.
I guess we're gonna try this and do this.
We're going to talk about everyday things, just funny stuff, people that get on our nerves, our jobs,
People at
family,
the job.
friends. We're going to lose a lot of
They're
friends,
gonna
a
know
lot
who
of
they
family.
are.
We might
You
even
all
lose our
don't know.
jobs.
We won't name names except our specific family, but
Yeah. And
those
I think
of you-
I got threatened already about that.
from family or friends.
So, but this is going to be fun. Fun for me anyway.
Fun for me too.
Yeah. That's
I
it.
think that's gonna be.
So welcome to If You Want Me to Be Honest.
All right. Well, stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to record shortly, probably in the same clothing you see us in now. It's going to be called Did I Say That Out Loud? It's about all the times that we say stupid shit when we
Mm.
shouldn't say stupid shit.
But that's an everyday, all day thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's become.
It's a problem.
So that's what our next episode is. And hope you all stick around and listen. And
Hit follow.
follow, like, subscribe, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you got to do. And yeah, check us out. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.